Hello and welcome to Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. I am Mark Hoffmeyer.
And I am Jake Lewitt.
And joining us is the hardest working man in comics, and also the hardest man to get off of a Comic-Con floor. It's Victor Dandridge Jr.
Oh, man. God, I miss you on that level. I do so bad. You don't even understand. Oh, my God. Miss you so much.
So Jay, Victor and I worked together at Wizard Comic-Con, so I was there from bouncing around between beginning of 2011 to about the end of 2016. And
right.
Victor was an artist there, and then he started doing all the panels. Dude, you just did a magician's panel.
I did. No, I did it wasn't the magicians. I thought I was supposed to do the magicians.
Oh.
It was a total error on my part. It ended up being that I was only doing General Hospital, which was still dope, though.
Oh, I bet.
That was an amazing panel. Yeah. But I did bone up for the magicians. I'm not going to lie. I was like, y'all need me? Y'all need me? They didn't.
I'm not someone who gets jealous. When my friends have something successful, I really, I applaud them. I'm happy for them. But when I was like, man, I want to talk to the magicians.
Hey, listen, I've been very fortunate in my career. The way that it's kind of evolved to doing the moderating thing was weird, but I'm glad that it did. You know, it was, again, Wizard World, I got to give them credit. I had been doing, the different panels for them and then the costume contest and the drinking draws. And they were like, hey, would you want to moderate some celebs? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm thinking they're going to throw me some, C-level, D-level people to start out. And they're like, let's start you with Sebastian Stan. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And, you talk about cutting your teeth and crowded room, and Sebastian was awesome to work with, but man, and I've been in those deep waters since, swimming around.
Oh, yes. Hey, and I also want to say congrats on your one-man play called Deep Blue Me. I heard that was a big off-Broadway success.
Yes, it is. I had to really make sure people understood that it was not pornographic. A lot of people thought that that's where it was going, but no, it was a one-man ode to the greatness of LL Cool J and his ability to pull two songs out of one song, and obviously How Does Like a Shark Spin is one of them. So yes,
yeah. I saw a bootleg copy of it, so the quality wasn't that great.
Okay, okay, that happens.
You had everyone move to tears when you were reenacting the kitchen scene. I
tried.
You found so much ethos in that shark's death in that kitchen. It was, I'm getting goosebumps. I got goosebumps on the back of my neck, the hair raised up. Just that scene, and you wailed for 45 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta, when you have to portray the death of such a magnificent creature, brutally blown apart by a evil kitchen gas bomb, you can't just play that for laughs or kicks, man. You gotta dig deep. You gotta find something. I had to, pull from the first time a pet ever died and what that meant to me. I'm sorry, I'm feeling a little...
You bought a parrot, right, to prepare for the role, and you also made cakes every single day.
Actually, I made cakes, but it was also omelets. I was all about the omelets. Again...
How many eggs?
2 eggs.
Okay.
Most people say 3, and people put in milk for fluffiness, but that is a mistake. So, yeah, it was so important.
And I just want to ask you a question before we start talking about this chapter here. Since you are one of the hardest working people in comics, go look at your Comixology page. You'll see all the stuff that you can get, all the stuff you write, all the panels, all the comics in a day. You're just constantly busy. So
yes,
I have A, B, or C thing for you. You are working on your latest comic, and you are in the zone. And a shark pops out of nowhere and bites your arm off, right?
Right.
What will you do? A, go to the hospital immediately. B, finish the comic or your thoughts, then go to the hospital. C, ignore the bite because you're too busy and just keep working.
Okay, here I have to rationalize this in certain categories. Number 1, was I working on my phone, computer, or iPad? That's important. iPad. Okay. Did the shark eat the hand that had the iPad?
No.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish with my left hand what I was working on, while with my mouth try to tourniquet as much as I can so I can get that thought out before I either A, forget, B, pass out, or 3, the shark comes back. So yeah, I got to get that idea out, man. I got to get that. Writing is life.
And
I hadn't even considered the shark was still there. It's still
yeah, man. You know, I gotta make sure. You know, once it gets a taste of me, it's not gonna leave.
Mhm.
I'm delicious.
You're gonna have to get on some high ground in your house and finish.
Exactly. You know, now for the record, I do believe that that's the true definition of a shark attack. If I'm at home and a shark gets me, that's an attack. If I'm in the water, that's my fault. That was a home invasion gone wrong. I was in their territory.
That's a shark defense.
Exactly.
Wow. And also, after looking at how much you do, I kind of started getting angry at Jim when he was being pulled up on the winch. Because you would have been working on a comic. You would have been like to the pilots, give me a stencil.
He's just
give me a stencil.
Heck yes. Listen, he was lazy. Okay, I'm glad that in this life he is gone and he's come back as a far better Doctor in the MCU, because I think Dr. Selvig would not have ditched the scene because he lost an arm. He would have, slapped Mjolnir on it and just kept going. When Jim loses his arm, I felt for him. That was very sad, okay? Obviously. But first of all, it was his fault for smoking indoors. There were clearly signs all over the place that said, don't do that. And the shark was really an environmentalist who clearly cared about secondhand smoking and the safety of others. The shark was a hero. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. Jim deserved it.
Just lazy hanging up on that winch.
Right? Just gonna post up. What?
You would have been swimming with that one arm if you fell in the water. That thing never would have caught you.
Never would have caught me, man. Never. I would have had the dodge or something. Even if I'm just swimming around in a circle, that would have been a strong circle swim. Okay? That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, last question, since you brought it up. Is Darcy, I believe her name in the Thor franchise, is she one of the most underappreciated MCU characters?
1,000,000%. Okay? Like, she is all of us. And in a world of the crazy pseudo-mythological, pseudo-science combinations, she is the reality check that everybody needs throughout the whole series. She's the best friend. She is the knowledgeable, geeky girl. And, make sure I'm not heard saying this, I think she looks better than Natalie Portman. So if I was Thor, I would have been like, hey, Jane, you're cool and all, but Darcy, what's up? Like, how you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's... And then she kitty talks.
If I'm in an MCU draft, my top three are Luis from the Ant-Man franchise, Darcy from the Thor franchise, and Nick Fury's SUV from Captain America Winter Soldier. That thing can fly. That thing can fly.
It really can.
And it took...
That's awesome.
They did... It's a half-hour scene where they're trying to get into it. And then he has a Tommy gun inside of it.
That's right. Right.
Hey, car, fly. Oh, I can't now. Like, I was like, what?
Wait, what?
Super
it's cool
serums.
that was even an option.
I believe in super serums or omegas and whatever's in the Hulk. Talking rocks. I'm cool with that. But a car that just can fly and you're not flying it?
Yeah.
Missed opportunities.
It's a mystery.
I agree. Actually, Louise and Darcy need to get together. I'm not even saying hook up. I'm not even shipping them, but I need them to know each other. Because that would be dope.
That'd be a fun spin-off.
Yes. Yes.
You chuck in Jeff Goldblum's Grandmaster, you've got a perfect trio, I think.
Whoa.
What did you just do? Jay, what did you just do? I mean, I think we just wrote, like, Phase 5 just now.
There we go.
Like,
There we go.
wow.
And, like, they don't even need to... I would watch those three on a Zoom call. I don't need any of this. They should be doing this now.
Imagine that Zoom call.
Oh, my God. That would be amazing.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So I know this is a Deep Blue Sea podcast, but Sam
I mean, not
Jackson
so far.
was in the MCU.
Yeah, it counts.
I mean, it all comes back around, so it works.
Right.
Thomas Jane was the Punisher.
Right?
Marvel.
Right? That's it. It's all in there. Like I said, Jim was with Selvig. So, I mean, that's Thor, that's Avengers. He's all up in that piece.
One of the kids in the first scene wrote Cars 3, which is Disney, which is Marvel. How far do you want to track this?
That's a deep cut.
Wow.
Good job.
You can track it there somewhere.
I like it.
That's what we do here at Deep Blue Sea.
I like it.
And I just want to say something really random again before we talk about it. So I think this section that we watched of Jim getting winched up in the helicopter, I mean, it's beautiful looking. It's practical effects. The actors really get bombed by water, as they talked about in the commentaries.
Mm-hmm.
The lighting is great, the practical lighting. So I started looking at the DP. His name's Stephen Winden. He just did Sonic recently. He did Fast and Furious 9, Patriot, all the recent Fast movies, Firestorm with Howie Long, that classic. But it made me want to rewatch Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. Have you ever felt that in your life?
Twice. I will acknowledge this twice. Obviously, when it first came out, I wanted to see that. I am an Anaconda fan, okay? That first movie was my jammy jam, okay? Let's just, the creepy accent that Jon Voight has across the board, right? Which you couldn't do now because everybody would be like, that's brown face for sure. Like, you can't even, like, he didn't use any makeup, but they would somehow be like, he's making fun of someone. I don't even know who.
We don't know who, but someone.
Yeah. Someone is offended. Someone is offended. I honestly think if you take Anaconda and Deep Blue Sea, those are probably two of the most iconic pseudo-scary movie pieces where the black guy lives.
Yeah.
Or a black guy lives. Let me just put it like that. And it's so important, like, to the culture. Those are huge successes. The fact that both of those guys are rappers, I think there's something interesting to that. But, yeah, obviously the sequel to Anaconda, gorgeous. Every once in a while, I gotta throw that on.
So, also, the production designer was Bryce Perrin. They worked on Ravenous and Hell and High Water, which I love. And Ed Neumeyer, who wrote RoboCop and Starship Troopers, wrote it.
Word?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
And I'm just sitting here looking at, like, this is a pretty excellent pedigree for Anaconda's The Hunt for the Blood Orchid.
That's true.
And the same director from Free Willy 2. Well, they're good with animatronics, at least.
Also true.
So the snakes look good.
Right.
And you want to hear something cool? The guy, Walt Conte, who devised these beautiful sharks in this movie, which I just watched a video, Jay and I watched a video for GQ where a marine biologist watches clips of people being attacked, and she said the Mako in this movie looks amazingly real. The teeth are perfect.
I was so happy when she said that.
Yes.
Wow. So happy.
Like, it blew her mind. And she said the attack on Jim would happen because it wouldn't have attacked Carter because it wasn't his eyesight. But when Jim walks up with his cigarette, it's like, oh, I see you, pop, and gets his arm. But the same guy did Anaconda and Deep Blue Sea, Walt Conte. So these movies have a lot more similarities than we know.
Right. Damn, that's awesome. Like, now I almost want to, I want to watch them back to back and compare which iteration of this deadly animal was better. With Deep Blue Sea, obviously, the sharks were enhanced. So there's a level to it. But that also plays into, the coolness of the buildup. Like, that scene, when the sharks swim backwards,
yes.
That's still such a moment for me because, okay, so like I said, I watched this movie last night with my 3-year-old and 11-year-old, and they are both fans of the show Wild Kratts. And they knew from that sharks can't swim backwards. So when it happens, my 11-year-old's like, sharks can't do that. And so when it's echoed in the movie, she's like, yeah, I'm in here. This is a moment,
nice.
Her expertise and their expertise is aligning. So obviously there's more, reality in Anaconda because there's not the enhanced nature, but I want to see which one actually showcases the better normal showcase of the animal itself.
When you're ready for it, we'll bring you back on and we'll do a Deep Blue Sea versus Anaconda.
I'm there.
Episode.
I'm there.
All right. And
yes, please and thank you.
One more question before we get into this. All right. So I just like asking you questions. So now we've been talking about jet ski action scenes since 2015.
We have.
Deep Blue Sea does not have one.
No.
But since you have such a great mind of writing and doing all this, I want you to pitch a jet ski action scene in Deep Blue Sea. So if there was a jet ski action scene in this film, what would it be? So we know in Shark Night, this guy's on a jet ski and a great white jumps out of the water and eats him. In Deep Rising, Treat Williams and Famke Johnson are driving around a cruise liner going, yeah, having the time of their lives while shooting this gigantic thing. Treat Williams is being chased by a mythological beast, and he's like, this is the greatest moment of my life on this jet ski. So how could we fit a jet ski action scene into this movie?
So in order to set the stage, you got to have a little bit of foreshadowing, right? So what I would have had is in the beginning, when Thomas Jane's character shows up to save the kids on the boat, he's riding a jet ski. I would definitely have that be the start to show that they do have them on deck. Now,